everyone, it's Taylor here, and I'm excited to introduce you to our new Creating Quads Hooray stencil. I'll be using this stencil to create grad-themed cards on today's video, but this stencil set will be so great for so many different celebratory occasions. We have the Foil-It Grad panel pack that I'll be pairing with the stencil. It is pre-printed in toner so that you can foil it with a mink or laminator, and I'll be using silver deco foil on today's projects. The Creating Quads layering stencil, as I mentioned, is called Hooray. There are 3 different layers in this stencil to create those 4 A2 panels with one blend across each layer. You simply cut your paper into quarters and you have those 4 different patterns to make 4 cards. I'll be using Mulled Wine, Cherry Pop, Earl Grey, and Oreo inks, along with my coordinating blender brushes. I have the full size and 1 bitty blender brush, along with pixie spray to hold the stencil in place. I have a couple different sentiment sets I'll be using, the previously released Inside Scoop Grad and the new All You Need stamp. Then we have a die cut for you 2022 and our Class of 2022 stamp set, along with the Congrats die. We have our Don't Stress Just Press tool and black drip drops. So here you can see 3 of the patterns that I'll be using from that Foil-It Grad panel pack, and I have my silver deco foil that I'll place over the top with the shiny side up. Then I have a piece of parchment paper. I've created a folder with the parchment paper and placed a piece of cardstock inside to use as a shim. Then you can place your toner prints over the top with the shiny side of the foil facing up, send it through the ink machine with a heat setting of 5, and when it comes out you have perfectly foiled, beautiful designs. So anything that was printed with the toner is now silver foil. And I think it looks just beautiful, especially for these grad cards and cards that are for such a celebratory occasion. Having a portion of it foiled really steps it up and makes it look super professional and special. So now that we have those 3 panels, we are going to take them and place them on our stencil layers. You can see in the bottom right corner of each of our stencils, we have the item number etched. So there is a -1, -2, and -3. I'll be starting with the -1 and then placing the pieces on the back of that first stencil before we blend. So I'm going to be using a little bit of pixie spray in the video. However, after recording this video, I didn't get great results. It pulled up a little bit of my foil after I peeled the stencil off of each layer. So I would recommend taping your designs to the back of the stencil using something like a pixie tape or purple tape. There is a quadrant that coordinates with each of the foil panel designs that I used. So you can see the Congrats Grad is up in the top right. Then the one with the square frame around the outside is in the bottom right. Then we have bottom left is the Class of Celebrate, and then a plain white panel for the other quadrant. Now I'm placing adhesive on the back of each of the panels because I want it to stay exactly in place on my placemat as I switch from layer to layer. So the cardstock is going to stay in place, but we're going to switch the stencil layer each time we blend. So I have marked those alignment squares on my placemat, and I'm blending that first layer with the Earl Grey ink. Then when we're finished with that, we can take stencil layer number 2, which you can see etched in the bottom right corner, and place that down using those alignment squares to perfectly line up with that first layer that we did. So for the second layer, I'm using Cherry Pop ink, and then I'll come in with the Mulled Wine ink and my bitty blender brush to add a little bit of extra dimension. I usually like to do this with the color of ink that I'm using, so use 2 colors that are similar to add a little bit of extra dimension. I also love this stencil because you can personalize this to whatever colors your recipient's school colors are. And so I think it makes it really special to personalize that to the person. And also, the thing I love about this stencil is you don't have to just make grad cards. So there is one panel or one quadrant that is specifically grad, that top right panel with the grad caps. Otherwise, you can use these streamers and kind of fireworks and stars as really any card type that you'd like. So here we have the congrats that I've die cut from that previously released congrats die. Then we have a new for us item. It's cut for you 2022. And we have our class of 2022 stamp set. So I'm going to be using those on this first card, stamping that class of onto a piece of sugar cube cardstock so that I can cut it down into a small strip. So I'll cut that with my paper trimmer so I have a small class of strip, and then it's going to fit right above the 2022 so that this card will say, Congrats Class of 2022. I love the option of these 2022 die cuts that come in both silver and black, so you can purchase just the die cut and not the actual die. That was something that I know it's hard to purchase a die that becomes obsolete the next year because it says the year on it. You will really only use it this year. So that's why we're offering this as pieces that we have die cut for you. Now I'm bringing in my black drip drops and placing them down onto each of these panels with some liquid glue. I think the black drip drops just give another added dimension to these projects, but of course if you're going to mail these, you might prefer to leave them off. So now we have those 4 cards that I've finished on the inside with different sentiments from the Inside Scoop Grad, and then a new set for us that's called All You Need. It says, behind you all your memories, before you all your dreams, around you all who love you, within you all you need. So here you can see all 4 cards that were created in today's video. I hope you enjoyed spending a little time with me, and you can check out all of these products at the Tailored Expressions web store at tailoredexpressions.com.